You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
How's it going, Bold and the Beautiful fans? So we've got bad news about Thomas Forrester and news you may or may not consider bad about RJ Forrester. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to look at some casting changes on the CBS soap opera, but if you are not subscribed, please click that button. As a practice, you may know if you check into news about the show often, B&B rarely comments on cast firings, generally only hirings. They tend to let people go, write them out, and then stick their head in the sand and act like fans aren't going to notice what they've done when they get rid of somebody. Sometimes it feels like Brad Bell and the PR department at CBS Daytimes are kind of dishonest with fans also, and that's a little bothersome. And now it looks like Matt Atkinson and Joshua Hoffman, who play Thomas and RJ, have been shown the door on the down low. Remember the whole Sheila Carter and Sugar thing? That was clearly her doppelganger dying. Fans literally were not fooled for even an episode. People knew right away it wasn't her. But they had Kimberlyn Brown out there doing interviews about wrapping her run, trying to sell a plot twist that isn't even that twisted. It's so painfully obvious. By having an actor do interviews like that is kind of over the top. They did the same thing with the non-death of Finn. B&B had Tanner Novlin out there doing interviews about what he's doing since he wrapped his run at Bold when the character was never dead. So I just don't know why they pull stuff like this, because it's insulting to fans and they always get exposed, and it's just not a good look, but it's what they do. So there was that Krista Allen thing, cutting her contract short by a year. And then when people noticed Taylor hadn't been on, and were saying, oh, I think Krista's been fired, B&B said, oh no, she's still on contract, brought her back for like 2 episodes and then exited her. And it was not confirmed fully until Krista spoke out and revealed they had fired her a year early. They wrote out Darren Brooks's Wyatt. He was the one that spoke up and confirmed he'd been written out. He did thank Brad Bell for the opportunity. But what was just more insanity is after he confirmed his firing, Bold brought Wyatt back for 1 whole episode to give keys to his house to Bill Spencer. I felt like Brad Bell was going, see, he's not fired. It makes no sense. All right, so now let's talk about the latest changes. Matt Atkinson last appeared as Thomas Forrester July 11th, 2024. Joshua Hoffman last appeared as RJ Forrester October 17th, 2024. And then during the Monday, December 30th episode of Bold and the Beautiful, there was some new opening credits, and both of these guys had completely disappeared. There was major changes in the opening scroll. Some others were added. They started with the standard shot of the camera, then the lights and the LA architecture, then the generic models. Then they got into the cast members, and the new credits revealed some interesting things about who's on contract, who seems to be on recurring, who is gone, and 2 that are missing completely that shouldn't be. So the first one missing, who's very much active on B&B, is Ashley Brewer as Ivy Forrester. Kind of bizarre because she's on the front burner, and we were given the impression that she came back under contract when they brought her in Electra Forrester. So kind of strange. She's not in the scroll at all, unless they're only going to have her on certain days, but it would be weird because she was on the episode that had the new credits on it. And the second one completely missing is Christian Weissmann as Remy Pryce, which hints that he's not staying long. No confirmation yet on the fate of Electra Stalker. His absence makes more sense to me than Ivy's absence. So the people with 2 and 3 photos each are the front burner characters on contract. I'm going to show you collages of the 2 or 3 photos of them from the credits. I kind of put them all together in one to make it easier to look at. So Jackie Wood as Steffy has 3 photos in the opening credits, and so does Don Diamont as Bill. Catherine Kelly Lang as Brooke has 3, and so does Heather Tom as Katie. Then the people with 2 photos, which still front burner people, Annika Noel as Hope, Lawrence St. Victor as Carter, Rebecca Buddig as Taylor, Scott Clifton as Liam, Tanner Novlin as Finn, Lisa Yamada as Luna, Linnea Grace as Electra, Crew Morrow as Will, John McCook as Eric, and Thorsten Kaye as Rich. They all have 2 photos, all on contract. Then there are 6 people who, based on what we're seeing on camera and the fact that they only have one photo in the scroll, seem to be the ones on recurring. People you don't see as much, but are still on the show. These include Delonda Metz as Zende, Sean Kanan as Deacon, Kimberlyn Brown as Sheila, Jennifer Garais as Donna, Remy Pryce as Poppy, and Naomi Matsuda as Lee. So you might notice 2 people not in that list at all. Matthew Atkinson as Thomas Forrester and Joshua Hoffman as RJ Forrester. And of course, everybody keeps asking, where is Thomas and if he's coming back? And mind you, Diamond White was yanked down off the credits, weeks ago, I think maybe even a couple of months ago, which already was a red flag that Paris and Thomas were not going to be back, or at least not back together. RJ has been notably absent while the Forrester family business has been hijacked by traders, and him not being around is a red flag that they have quietly written him out like Bold is known to do. Honestly, I mean, losing RJ is not that big of a deal. What's a much bigger deal is if Thomas is not coming back at some point. Bold and the Beautiful just wished him, the actor, a happy birthday on their official Instagram account, calling him their very own Matt Atkinson, and then sloppily tagged a wildly inaccurate and misspelled version of his Instagram handle. Like they didn't even care to spell check it, to get it right, to copy and paste it. It was so clearly badly done that Annika Noel commented on the post and asked them to fix it and re-tag it correctly with his proper handle. And she even pasted in his proper handle. Last time I looked, it had been 3 days between the original post and when I'm recording this, and Bold still had not bothered to fix it. So they stripped these 2 actors out of the credits. That definitely does not look good. And them making such a sloppy social post for his birthday just doesn't look good either. On a very happy note, Matt Atkinson and his wife Brittany had their son back late October, early November. We don't know the exact day. And they are happily parenting. They just enjoyed their first Christmas as a family of 3. So I'm sure he's focused on other things, but I know fans want to know. And to me, this change of the credits definitely looks like, nails in the coffin for Thomas Forrester coming back. And I don't expect Bold to tell us, but I think we can probably all figure out what's going on.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.